Today we're going to be talking about my team for NBA 2K16. The other day we got a blog post from the developers detailing a lot of stuff about the mode, a lot of the new things, as well as the modes within the mode, such as the Gauntlet, Domination, and everything like that. And in this video we're going to be breaking it all down. If you guys have not read the blog post for yourself, I highly recommend you guys go do that. Link will be down below in the description. So let's start off by talking about what is the main focus of the development team this year for my team. They said they want everyone to have a sense of individuality. We haven't really had that in the past. We've had to choose from the same set of logos, jerseys, courts, and that's what we had to choose from. This year, the full team creator from My League and My GM and Pro-Am will be in my team, which is a substantial feature. That's going to add a ton of variety to the game, giving everyone the option to fully customize their courts, uniforms, arena. They can upload their own images. You guys know how the team creator works, but that will be coming to my team. And then if you don't want to create your team like this, you can just go ahead and get the jersey cards and logo cards and court cards and stuff like that and still equip them. So that is very, very big right there, having that in the mode. Next up, let's talk about the Gauntlet. And the Gauntlet, I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. It's definitely a little bit confusing, but it's like Draft Champions in a way. It's like a toned down version of Draft Champions from Madden, which I think everybody can agree that is a very, very good mode. So basically how this is going to work, it's going to be 3-on-3 street ball, game to 21 in a 10-game series, playing people online. And when you start things off, you start with choosing 10 players from your collection. You can just choose any of your 10 players, but each of those players can only be used in one game in the 10-game series. So you guys can see in the screenshot right here, he chooses the dynamic ratings James Harden as one of his cards. So once he finishes this game with James Harden, he can no longer use that card in this 10-game series. And when you choose that card, you're going to get one of them for each game, and then it's going to get paired with two random cards called trial cards that are just chosen at random out of all the cards within my team at that point. So he gets put with Derek Favors and Norman Powell right here. So that is his squad for game one. So after game one, if you were to lose the game, you wouldn't get any picks off the board, but if you were to win, you get to choose cards off of the board. And basically what the board is, you guys can see the screenshot here, as you advance through, the more and more picks off the board you get. So this is basically going to be a way for people that don't want to spend my team points to be able to actually get cards. And as you guys can see, the first 4 games right here, if you were to win, you get 2 picks. So there's going to be different theme boards as well. So say it's just like a basic board, they might put 2 random cards up, for just 2 random cards up on the board, and you get to choose 2 of those if you were to win the game. But they said they are going to have different themed boards coming out through the year. I'm going to use like Ruby, for example, even though there's not going to be Ruby cards. That'll be like a theme in the background of cards, which I'll talk about in a little while. But basically they could have like a full Ruby board, and it would be really hard to get picks. But if you did win and you did get a pick, you would get to choose one of those off the board, which is very, very cool. And the further on you advance, the more picks you get. If you were to lose, you wouldn't get any picks, or you would get less picks than if you would have won. And then also, if you lose a certain amount of games, you're just going to get eliminated and you're going to have to start over. So overall, I think this is a very, very cool thing. This is going to help the people out that don't want to spend money buying packs and grinding the game for long amounts of time. They're going to get a chance to pick up cards just by playing the game, which I think is very, very, very cool. I can't wait to see how this works out and hear more information on it. Next up, let's talk about Domination. And Domination is essentially the same as it has been. Obviously, they have added in Historic Domination now. So you're going to have 33 extra games to play against all the historic teams, which is definitely really, really cool. And also you can see at the end, in the bottom right of the screenshot, if you collect all 99 stars, you get a Scottie Pippen. And that has a blue background, which I don't know what that theme is. They have not announced that theme yet. Maybe that's some type of reward theme, I don't know. But he is an amethyst card, which means he's over 90 overall probably. I think that's like the starting point for amethyst cards. So that's definitely a better reward than we got last year with Nate Archibald. Even though he was a 93 overall, I think, the Sapphire Nate Archibald, he definitely wasn't a great player. So we do get a Scottie Pippen for completing Domination this year. So that's going to essentially work the same. Next up, let's talk about trials, and trials are a new kind of like mini game within the game that they have added in that sounds really cool. So in MyTEAM games, you're going to get the opportunity for trials, and you guys can see the screenshot. This one says get a triple double with a single player. It says you only get 300 MT. That seems really cheap for having to get a triple double, which is definitely something difficult to do, especially when you're playing you know, in MyTEAM. But you're gonna get these trials, but they can only be applied to one player. So if it says get a triple double with a single player, you have to focus just on that single player to complete the trial. It's not like a team trial or anything like that. It's not like score 80 points and get this bonus. These are going to be only for one player. So that's just a cool little thing. You know, if things get boring playing the CPU, I know when you're playing certain you know, challenges that are really easy or something, the games can get really stale. You can work on these trials and get yourself some extra MT, which is definitely a really cool thing as well. Next, let's talk about the cards, and the cards, they didn't give us too much of a different feel. We kind of got all this information a while ago when they revealed the two themes, the moments cards and the dynamic ratings cards, so I'm not going to go through this section because we pretty much already know about all this, but they did say there are going to be more themes that they will be adding throughout the year and stuff like that, so that's definitely really cool. Next up, let's say there's a little bit more information on cards right here, and these are shoe cards, and this is something we saw in the achievement list that was leaked, and this is essentially exactly what I thought it was going to be. These are going to be replacing the attribute cards, and if you guys were anything like me, you didn't really use the attribute cards at all in 2K15 because it was just too much of a pain and too time consuming to go through and add little attribute bonuses to players. But this year, the shoes are going to be, you know, completely overtaking that system. So each shoe card, they can be in the same tiers. You can have diamonds, you can have amethyst, you can have gold, silver, bronze. These shoes are going to have 3 or 2 separate attributes, you know, applied to them. Like right here, you can see in the screenshot, the Curry 2 Blacks, that's a gold card. It has 3 attribute bonuses applied to it. The silver one right there has 2. I'm assuming bronze will have 1, and we'll have to see about amethyst and diamond. But you can apply these to players, and I believe they last for 10 games. I'm not going to read through this and see if I can find that, but just take my word for it. I think they last for 10 different games, and you can use those cards, and you're going to have to get a new card to apply if you want those attribute bonuses. So that's definitely a cool way to replace the attribute cards, because those didn't get used too much in 2K15. And lastly, let's just talk about a few more little things that they've added. They've given you the ability to now compare cards, which is good. You can compare you know, ratings and stuff easily. I don't know why they didn't have that in the past, but they have added that in. They also have, you also now have the ability to search for cards straight from your collection, which is amazing. That is completely great. I hope there's something in there where if you're like looking to snipe cards for really cheap, there's some type of indicator you know, implying that you already have that card. That's something that I wanted in the game. Hopefully that's in there. But you will be able to search straight from your collection. So if you're in the Pistons collection and you see that you don't have Stanley Johnson, you can just go ahead and click on his card and search straight for it, which is just going to add, you know, a lot of, they're just trying to streamline everything, and it's just going to make things a lot less time consuming and easier overall. They also added in boxes, which are essentially bundles. They didn't say anything about toppers on here, so I think maybe, you know, if you buy 10 packs, you'll just get it at a slightly discounted cost. So I know a lot of people will be happy about that. You can now generate your lineups. You have autofill options for building lineups. You know, you can apply contracts to your whole team at one time. So just everything trying to make it easier, faster, so you can just get right back into the game and not have to spend a ton of time on the outside, you know, changing a bunch of stuff around. So that's pretty much it for the MyTEAM news. Very cool stuff going on in here. I can't wait to hear more about the mode. I think they're still holding some things back that they didn't detail. Obviously, they didn't talk about any more themes in this blog post. They just talked about the dynamic ratings and the moments theme, and we know there will be more themes than that. They did mention that Throwback Thursday cards will be coming back, which will be a theme, essentially the same as Onyx. And then also, from that leaked achievement list a while ago, they mentioned runes and accolades, and they didn't mention that at all in this blog post. So since that achievement list and everything seemed to be legit, judging by a bunch of the other stuff that was revealed in the blog, I'm thinking they're holding that stuff back, and we'll have to learn about that more in the future. Maybe they'll give us a few more tidbits before release. Maybe we'll just have to see it right at release. Maybe after the game comes out, we'll start figuring that stuff out. But anyway, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think of my team down below in the comment section, and I will talk to you guys later.